will be amazed. I'm just speechless. Welcome to St. Petersburg. Right behind me is the Church of the Saviour on Spilled Blood. The church was erected where members of Народная Воля assassinated Emperor Alexander II in March 1881. The church functioning as a museum and the church as well. So let's go check it out inside. What is it like inside? You will be surprised. The construction of that church began in 1883 by Alexander IV, 2 years after assassination of his father Alexander II. Construction was completed in 1907 during the reign of Nicholas II. The funding of this church was provided by imperial family and private donors. Lots of local artists selling this work just in front of the cathedral or church, whatever you want to call it. Overcast today, but it's actually more pleasant to walk around the city rather than in a very hot day. Yesterday was very hot actually and humid. It's a big queue over there. We're going to join the queue anyway. It's retro bus, excursion bus. It turned out we could buy tickets from the self-service machine at the entrance, so we didn't have to stand in line. I just went straight to the machine and bought 2 tickets for us. Keep in mind that Visa and MasterCard don't work here in Russia, as they operate through the SWIFT system, which is currently not supported. The last time I've been here, it was in 1995, I think, with excursion from my university, and you will be amazed. I'm just speechless myself right now, because all the walls is covered with mosaic. I forgot how great it looked. It's lots of excursions in here. It's absolutely spectacular. So all of it you can see is a mosaic. Very, very little pieces put together. Look at this. Wow. Absolutely amazing. The ticket cost £450 rubles per person, per adult, and for foreigners as well, it's the same price. If you want the headphones with the English translation, it's only cost 200 rubles. So this is an exact place where Alexander II was assassinated. A little chapel was built. Just look at those walls, wow. I remember when this church was renovated. This is the model of the church itself. And what is interesting about it, that it's still working church and a museum at the same time. Look at the floor. The marble floor here is made from different type of stone, brought from all over Russia and abroad. Its intricate patterns were carefully designed to complement the mosaics above, creating a stunning harmony between the walls and the floor. The stoneworks includes materials like Italian marble and Russian semi-precious stones, part of what makes this place feel more like a jewel box than a church. Let me just look up. Jim is here as well. In the aftermath of the Russian Revolution, the church was badly damaged and it was finally closed in 1932. And during Second World War, when many people were starving due to the siege of Leningrad by the Nazi German military forces, the church was used as a temporary morgue for those who died in combat. And after the Second World War, or how we call it, Great Patriotic War, this church was used as a warehouse for vegetables, believe it or not. The Church of the Saviour on Spilled Blood was designed by Alfred Parland, a Russian architect with Scottish roots. His grandfather actually came from Scotland and was an English teacher for the future Emperor Alexander I. I found that detail especially touching, since I'm Russian but now living in Scotland. It feels like a little historical connection between my two worlds. Parland didn't just design the church itself, he also created the beautiful cast iron fence that surrounds and separates the church from Mikhailovsky Garden. It's not just a fence, it's a work of art with intricate flowing patterns that echo the details of the church. Today, Russian people still remember Alfred Parland's contribution to the architectural legacy of St. Petersburg and other cities across the country. His grave is carefully looked after, and even now people continue to visit and pay their respect. His work lives on not just in stone and metal, but in the hearts of those who cherish Russia's history. So that's where Mass is taking place. One of the most enduring and romantic urban legends associated with the church concerns the preservation of its sacred crosses. According to the legend, during the years of the Russian Revolution, local residents of Petrograd removed the crosses from the domes and secretly lowered them into the Griboyedov Canal in an effort to protect them from destruction by the Bolsheviks. Decades later, during the restoration of the church in the 1980s, a passerby is said to have approached the workers and advised them to search the canal. Acting on this tip, divers examined the canal bed and discovered the original church crosses. These were carefully restored and eventually returned to their rightful place atop the domes of the cathedral. After a Russian Revolution, the Church of the Saviour on Spilled Blood was closed and fell into serious disrepair. For many years, this former church was used by Soviet newspaper Pravda to store printing equipment and paper. It's honestly hard to imagine now, standing inside this stunning space, that it was once filled with stacks of newsprints and machinery. As you may notice, every single mosaic in this church tells a story, a biblical story. From floor to ceiling, the walls are completely covered in intricate mosaics showing scenes from the life of Christ, the apostles, and other key moments from the Bible. In fact, the Church of the Saviour on Spilled Blood has over 7,000 square meters of mosaics, one of the largest mosaic collections in Europe. It's almost impossible to take it all in at once. Every surface is alive with color and detail. I remember in 1995 when I was in my first year at university, our tutor took us on the excursion to this church, and it wasn't even opened for visitors, so it was just us. It was a private excursion, so to speak, and the middle of the floor was you couldn't stand on it because it was repairing, and all over the walls was scaffolding, so you couldn't really see the mosaics or anything, just a little glance of mosaics, but that was still enough to see the beauty of this place. The church has endured some of the most turbulent chapters in Russian history. It survived the revolution, when many churches across the country were destroyed. It endured the siege of Leningrad, even though a shell stuck in its dome. Miraculously, it didn't explode. During Khrushchev's anti-religious campaign, more than 100 churches were demolished in Leningrad alone, and also the decision to destroy this church was made twice. The building remained standing. In the 70s, a severe fire broke out within the cathedral, causing significant damage, yet the main structure and the intricate mosaics were left unharmed. This remarkable resilience gave rise to the legend of the mystical force protecting the church, an unseen defense guarding it through war, political upheaval, and disaster. As you can see, numerous guided excursions are taking place. These tours are included in the price of admission, so there is no need to pay any additional fees. However, please note that the excursions are conducted in Russian. Audio guides in other languages are available for an additional charge, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video.
В этом сундуке деньги. Вот когда он был в Твиттере, он все ходил с сундуком, за деньги переживал. Люди от него сторонились. Они понимали, Твиттер пришел, значит, надо долги возвращать. А людям неприятно, когда я им напоминаю о долгах. И когда Христос по центру, он подошел и сказал: все, оставь и последуй за мной. Вот так и сделал.
One section of the church is dedicated to an exhibition that highlights the extraordinary craftsmanship involved in this restoration, a process that spanned many decades. After suffering significant damage during the Russian Revolution and later during the siege of Leningrad in Great Patriotic War, the Church of the Saviour on Spilled Blood remained closed for much of the Soviet era. For nearly the entire Soviet period, the exterior was completely covered with wooden scaffolding, hiding the church from the public view. Remarkably, this wooden covering was only removed in the summer of 1991, just a few months before the collapse of the Soviet Union. The exhibition features a series of archival and contemporary photographs documenting the meticulous work of skilled artisans who restored the mosaic, repaired the roof, and brought back every damaged detail with incredible precision. It also provides insight into traditional techniques used in the creation of enamel, showing the process used by artists to produce the vibrant materials seen throughout the church. On display are fragments of gold foiled domes, ornate gates, and samples of enamel and smold, the very elements that bring the church's stunning mosaics back to life, offering a powerful tribute to both history and human craftsmanship. So that's before restoration in 1984. The church took 24 years to build, a testament to the scale and complexity of its design. The main dome of the church reaches a height of 81 meters, symbolizing the year 1881, the year Emperor Alexander II was assassinated. In fact, every cathedral and church in Russia was built for a specific reason and a deep symbolic meaning, whenever to commemorate a historical event, reflect religion ideas, or honor a particular figure in Russian history. I should also mention that there is a small souvenir shop inside the church, where visitors can purchase items such as guidebooks, candles, and icons. marble flooring is just amazing, isn't it? So the prices are roughly 1,000 rubles is 10 pounds. You can buy booklets in here, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a walk-in church and you can buy real icons in here. How beautiful is this? So that's the exact place where he was assassinated. And here's the exit, which is also quite magnificent. Just check out all of this mosaic. Look at those doors. Exit. The exit is located on Griboyedov Canal. The Nevsky Prospect, Nevsky Avenue, just over there. It's still scaffolding outside. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. Thanks for watching. See you next time.